Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to do the very first lesson of your Honeycomb book, 3 questions. And I assure you dears that this story is going to be an amazing one. A Tolstoy story. The 3 questions in the opening paragraph, though philosophical in nature, may be of practical significance to individuals in self-realization and value inculcation. So this story is going to give 3 valuable messages to each and every one of us. So what these 3 questions are? The story is sectioned in 2 parts and we shall cover the chapter in 2 videos. This story basically revolves around a king who is desperate to know the answers of 3 questions and his journey to seek the answers to it. Will he be able to find the answers to his questions? Let's find out. But before that, let's know in nutshell about the renowned Russian author Leo Tolstoy. Leo Tolstoy was born on 9 September 1828 in Russia. He died at the age of 82 on 20th November 1910. He was a novelist, short story writer, essayist, playwright. His notable works are War and Peace, The Kingdom of God is Within You, Resurrection, etc. He was a Russian and he used to write in Russian language. This story is a translated one. A king has 3 questions and he is seeking answers to them. What are the questions? Does the king get what he wants? Let's begin the lesson. 3 questions by Leo Tolstoy. Part 1. The thought came to a certain king that he would never fail if he knew 3 things. Certain means one particular king, though name is not mentioned anywhere. A king once thought that he would never fail in his life if he knew 3 things. These 3 things were, what is the right time to begin something? So the very first question that he wanted to know was, if there is any important work, then when should he begin it so that he could succeed in that work? Which people should he listen to? So the second question was, whose advice should he seek? What is the important thing for him to do? And the last thing he wanted to know was, if he has many work to be done, how can he prioritize it? How can he decide which work he should do first? These were the 3 things for which he was seeking answer. The king therefore sent messengers throughout his kingdom, promising a large sum of money to anyone who would answer these 3 questions. So he sent messengers throughout his kingdom. He promised to give a reward of large sum to the person who answered his questions correctly. Many wise men came to the king, but they all answered his questions differently. So many wise men tried their luck, but their answers were all different. In reply to the first question, so what is the first question? First question was, what is the right time to begin something? For this question, a variety of answers came. Some said the king must prepare a timetable and then follow it strictly. Only in this way, they said, could he do everything at its proper time. So according to few people, they wanted the king to prepare a timetable and then he should follow it strictly so that he will be able to complete all the work in proper time. Others said that it was impossible to decide in advance the right time for doing something. The king should not notice all that was going on, avoid foolish pleasures, and always do whatever seemed necessary at that time. So others said that he should observe everything. He should avoid foolish pleasures, and with his observation he should decide when he should do any necessary work. Yet others said that the king needed a council. What is council? Council is a group of people chosen to give advice or to make rules. This was because one man would find it impossible to decide correctly without help from others. The right time for every action. So others gave suggestion that the king should have a council. Why council? Council is group of people. Okay, so according to them, they said it would be impossible for one single person to decide when he should do one particular thing and the other one. So they wanted the king to have a council so that the council can discuss among themselves and give advice, directions to the king accordingly. But then others said that there were some things which could be urgent, but others suggested there could be something that needs urgent attention. These things could not wait for the decision of the council. That's also true. If there is any urgent issue, king cannot wait for his council to give the decision. In order to decide the right time for doing something, it is necessary to look into the future. So some suggested that to decide the right time for doing something, the king should be able to look into future. And only magicians could do that. The king therefore would have to go to magicians. To see the future, the king should be able to know the future. And to know that, he should seek help of any magician. Okay, so some suggested he should make a timetable. Some said he should seek the advice of council. Some said that he should take help of magicians to see the future and accordingly he can work. In their answers to the second question. Now what is the second question? Which people should he listen to? Some said that the people most necessary to the king were his counselors. Every king has counselors in his court. Okay, counselors are the members of the council and they are a group of wise men. The king seeks advice of them when some important decision has to be taken. That's why some people suggested that the king should take advice or should listen to the counselors because they are the wise people and they will always guide the king to correct direction. But others said the priest. The few others chose the doctors, and yet others said that his soldiers were the most necessary. So here also for the second question also the king got varied kind of answers. To the third question some said, now what is the third question? What is the most important thing for him to do? So some said for this that science. The king should involve more into scientific activities for the development of the kingdom. Others chose fighting. Others said that the most important work that he has to do is he should keep fighting and winning the kingdoms and defeat his enemies. Yet others said religious worship. Yet some other people said that king should indulge more into religious activities. As the answers to his questions were so different, the king was not satisfied and gave no reward. Instead, he decided to seek the advice of a certain hermit who was widely known for his wisdom. Now, who is this hermit? Hermit is a person who lives alone and leads a simple life. The hermit lived in a wood which he never left. What is wood? Wood is jungle or a small forest. This hermit used to live in a forest and he lived in that particular place only and he did not leave that area. So he has no contact with the outside world. He doesn't leave that place. He grows whatever he needs for his living in that forest and survives on whatever is available in the forest. He saw no one but simple people. So this hermit had no connections with rich people or the kings. Okay, he used to meet only the simple people who would come to seek his advice to the forest. And so the king put on ordinary clothes. As the king knew that hermit does not visit any rich people. He doesn't like any rich people to come and visit him. So king went to him in disguise of an ordinary person in ordinary clothes. Before he reached the hermit's hut, the king left his horse with his bodyguard and went alone, so that he did not wanted to give hermit the impression that he is a rich man or he is the king. So he left his horse, his bodyguards, everything far away, and he went all alone to meet the hermit. As the king came near the hermit's hut, he saw the hermit digging the ground in front of his hut. So as he reached near his hut, he saw that hermit is working. He is digging the ground in front of his hut. He greeted the king and continued digging. The hermit, seeing this man standing near him, he greeted him and then he continued with his work. The hermit was old and weak, and as he worked, he breathed heavily. The king went up to the hermit and said, "I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer 3 questions." And then king puts forward his 3 questions to him to get the answer. How can I learn to do the right thing at the right time? Who are the people I need most? And what affairs are the most important? Affairs means things or matters or business. So he put forward his questions in front of the hermit and he's waiting for the answer from the hermit. The hermit listened to the king but did not speak. He went on digging. So the hermit, after hearing the questions, he continued with his work. He did not reply anything. "You are tired," said the king. "Let me take the spade and work in your place." So king said that you are old and you are tired. "Give me your spade." He offered his help to the old man. This is what the spade is like. This is a tool that is used for digging on the ground. "Thanks," said the hermit, giving the king his spade. Then he sat down on the ground. When the king had dug 2 beds, he stopped and repeated his questions. The hermit gave no answer, but stood up, stretching out his hand for spade, and said, "Now you rest and let me work." So after digging 2 beds, now what are beds? Small patches of ground for plants. For planting plants, when you dig some patches on the ground, that is called beds. So after digging 2 beds, the king stopped and repeated his questions, expecting answers from the hermit. The hermit gave no answer, but instead he stood and he said, "Now you give me the spade, I will work, you take rest." But the king did not give him the spade and continued to dig. 1 hour passed, then another. Okay, but he did not get any answer from the hermit. The sun went down behind the trees, and at last the king stuck the spade into the ground and said, "Now it's the dusk time. The sun has gone down. It's evening." Now king, getting tired of working and not getting the answer from the hermit, he stuck the spade into the ground and said, "I came to you, wise man, for an answer to my questions. If you can give me no answer, tell me so, and I will return." He said, "Wise man, I have come to you to get answer of my question. If you are not able to answer me, you tell me clearly so that I can go home." "Here comes someone running," said the hermit. Instead of giving answer, that particular moment, hermit sees somebody coming to them running. So who could be that someone? Who came running to them? Any guess? No? Let's unfold this mystery in the next video. Till then, take care.